Ever since doing my first top 5, people have been asking me to do like, well, why don't you climb up the ladder, start from NES and maybe end up into this current generation of games. Stay tuned because next week we're going to tackle the SNES. So, stay tuned. My name is Chris. I'll see you guys next time. And later this week, I think on Friday or Saturday, after I'm done editing it, I'm going to release the top 5 SNES games. So I want to apologize for not having the top 5 SNES games like I said I was going to have it like 2 weeks ago. I accidentally deleted the footage that I had. I'm going to delete through all files, and things happen for a reason, for whatever reason. So I got to reshoot that. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to try to do it over this break, because it's not going to be out until next year. You can see I'm working on the new stuff. The new top 5, which is going to be for the Super Nintendo, which I started like a year ago, the top 5, or even more than that, I'm not sure how long it was. But as you can see, I got the script all written out, it's all ready to go. Just gotta start filming, start capturing the footage, and it's all gonna be a good time. I just want you to stay tuned, more stuff is coming, I promise. GSTV, top 5 SNES games, here we go.
Daddy's gotta go to work.
Man, has time flown by. What is up, people of the internet? It's Chris, and it's time to get down to the top 5 SNES games of my childhood. Remember, this is a very biased list, so if you don't agree with it, hey, don't hate, just appreciate for what I'm doing. Because that's what counts, right? Let's start. Alright, let's get started. The first game in this series, Super Mario Kart, is all about racing for the checkered flag, through a variety of cartoonish landscapes inspired by the Mario universe. You can then choose from 8 different characters, including Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Toad, Yoshi, Bowser, Donkey Kong Jr., and a Koopa Troopa. You can then choose your engine speed from 50, 100, 150cc. Basically easy, normal, and hard difficulty. What sets this kart racer different from any other racing game out there are the items you can get throughout the race. Anything from a mushroom, which gives you a small boost, to a Koopa shell, which acts like a projectile. This game later would be followed by a new edition on every console, and is still going strong to this day. It's no lie that Mega Man was successful and had a huge following on the NES, but when it came to make the move to the new SNES, Capcom wanted to bring the Man in Blue in full swing. They actually hung back for a while on the previous system and came out with Mega Man 4, 5, and 6, just taking their time developing a new entry to the series. Mega Man X finally came out for the Super Nintendo 2.5 years after the system's debut, and it became clear why. It was a complete new Mega Man, and a reinvention of the franchise. X, as he was called, was an all-new Mega Man character. Sleeker, faster, and edgier than the original Blue Bot. The gameplay is still focused on running and jumping and shooting enemies through a set of 8 stages that you can choose from in any order. But with X, you are introduced to more advanced maneuvers that change up the old-school gameplay, such as dashing, wall jumping, and on-the-fly weapon swapping. Mega Man X was well worth the wait for fans. With awesome visuals, tight controls, and a killer soundtrack, it's no wonder why this game is the stuff of legends. Super Nintendo was in trouble. The year was 1994. Nintendo's second home console had been out for 3 years. With the heat of other competition from other companies, Nintendo needed a hit. With the audience switching to the Sega Genesis and the introduction of Sony's brand new PlayStation, the Super Nintendo needed a blockbuster game. And Donkey Kong Country was it, and it saved the SNES. Up to that point, Donkey Kong had all been but forgotten in arcades of the 80s. Well, this new spiffy DK is actually the grandson of Cranky Kong, who is in fact the original Donkey Kong. As for the graphics, it was like nothing gamers have seen before. Rendered 3D models with detailed animations, backgrounds in a jungle setting, music that made you feel like you were out in the Amazon. With a side-scrolling style gameplay, you travel all over DK Island. And not alone either. You have your own sidekick. Making his debut, Diddy Kong tags along for tag team action. With great gameplay, solid graphics, DKC blew everybody away, and did it all on a 16-bit system. Brand new system means an all-new Mario game. With the debut of the SNES came Super Mario World. One of the best games on the Super Nintendo was a launch title. That's almost unheard of these days. Story is, Bowser is up to his evil ways again. Princess Peach is once again being held captive, but this time in Dinosaur Land. So it's up to you, Mario, and Luigi in making his debut, Yoshi. As far as gameplay goes, it's your standard side-scrolling Mario game. With fewer power-ups this time around, you rely on more of Mario's running and jumping skills. With tighter controls, more enemies, more diverse level design, and a fun soundtrack, you quickly fell in love with this game and enjoyed every moment of it. Not much more needs to be said. Super Mario World will be the last side-scrolling game for Mario in the main series for almost 16 years. But Mario himself never slowed down. He would continue in many different and spin-off games, including my favorite SNES game of all time. Alright, no more fooling around. When remembering the great games of the past, the literal game changers, Yoshi's Island always comes to mind. It is possibly the best platformer of all time. What's interesting about this game is that even though everybody knows this game as Yoshi's Island, its full title is actually Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. Yep, that's right. This is a sequel. But wait, doesn't this game take place before Super Mario World? Oh, look at that, Mario and Luigi are babies. Anyways, the star of this game is Yoshi. Well, actually a whole bunch of Yoshis. It is in fact Yoshi's Island. Your goal is to get Mario reunited with Luigi and get the babies home. The story this time around is that Mario and Luigi are babies, and they're being carried by a stork. But the evil wizard Kamek, or Kamek, however you want to pronounce it, snatches Luigi but lets Mario drop. Lands on top of Yoshi, perfectly fine from a fall above the clouds. But it looks like Baby Mario knows where to find Luigi, so the Yoshis decide to do a relay system to get Mario where he needs to go. So as Yoshi this time around is much more complex than he was in the previous game. Besides just eating all the bad guys, Yoshi can now take the baddies he just ate and digest them into eggs. Don't ask how that works, I have no idea. And with those eggs, you can now throw them as projectiles. The overall art style is different as well. Everything looks hand-drawn by a bunch of 5-year-olds, and I absolutely love it. The music is simply amazing. It puts you in a fun mood, from the intro stage all the way to the final boss. If that last boss and its music don't give you chills, something's wrong with you. Simply put, Yoshi's Island always reminds me of why I love video games. Always a fun time. It is my all-time favorite game of the Super Nintendo. A damn good one at that. Hope you guys enjoyed this list. I know I did. be sure to check back. I promise more videos will be on the way. Until next time, my name is Chris. Hey, take care. I'll see you guys next time. Later.